Over the years, the company that are currently officially licensed to create Doctor Who action figures, Character Options, have produced a lot of Dalek figures. It makes sense, as these Dalek figures are not only great toys for kids, but they are also extremely popular with collectors like myself. So for this video we'll be taking a look at the Character Options Dalek releases from 2005 to the present, focusing primarily on the 5-inch Dalek figures but also occasionally covering some other figures. The first set of officially licensed Doctor Who merchandise created by Character Options was released in September 2005, just 3 months after the broadcast of Series 1. The wave began with 2 releases of the RC Dalek Battle Pack, one featuring the 9th Doctor and the other featuring Rose. This battle pack contained 2 remote-controlled Daleks, the first Character Options Dalek figures to ever be released, which contained numerous inaccuracies compared to the Daleks seen on TV. The shade of bronze used for the drone was poor. They also used an earlier version of the Dalek design, with the gold band seen in Dalek but not the parting of the ways, and the proportions were way off, including a chunky look to the midsection and skirt, an oversized gunstick, and a stubby manipulator. Still, for a first try it was pretty good, and this battle pack would be re-released several times in 2006, first with the 9th Doctor replaced with the 10th Doctor, and then again with the inclusion of a Cyber Leader figure. In the meantime, several other singular releases of the remote-controlled Daleks were also produced, again using the same chunky figure from the 2-pack release, but another was also made that featured Dalek Sec of the Cult of Skara. This same RC mould was also used for Dalek Sec, albeit without any of the electronic components, for a Woolworths 6-figure gift pack from September 2006. 2007 was a big year for Doctor Who figures. January saw a wave released based on Series 1, which was the first to feature a specially made non-remote control Dalek figure, the Mutant Reveal Dalek. This also had an oversized chunky design but fixed several issues of the earlier design, such as including a more accurate bronze paint job, a painted eye stalk, and better proportioned manipulator and gunstick, though they were still oversized. This figure would be recoloured black for the Doomsday set, and also used for the Genesis Arc and Dalek set, which featured a Dalek Sec and 3 bronze Daleks. However, early releases of this set lacked the painted on blue eye stalk lens. Later in 2007, another wave was released that featured the Assault Dalek, as well as a standard single figure release of Dalek Sec. June 2007 also saw the release of the infamous damaged Dalek Thay figure, which had 2 separate releases, and also some re-releases from earlier Dalek figures but with an updated paint job that removed the gold band and used a slightly darker shade of bronze. We also saw the awful looking chocolate Comic-Con Assault Dalek figure, several Series 2 and Series 3 figure packs featuring Daleks, and the release of the genetic print Dalek, the last figure released to use the original gold-banded Dalek paint job, which was actually accurate in this case. 2008 saw the release of the Red Supreme Dalek figure, and also the debut of an updated bronze Dalek design, featuring a slimmer look, better proportioned gunstick and manipulator, and a higher quality finish. The Supreme Dalek and Davros were released as standalone figures, and were also included in the Stolen Earth set alongside the Vault Dalek, the first to use the updated sculpt. 2008 also saw Character Options' first foray into Classic Who figures, starting with the Classic Dalek Collector Set 1, and there was also yet another release of damaged Dalek Thay, just in case the 5 we'd had already weren't filling bargain bins fast enough. 2009 gave us our first Classic Who Dr. Dalek 2-pack, the standard and black and white versions of the First Doctor and Supreme Dalek pack, as well as re-releases of the Supreme Dalek and Davros figures, and of course the Dalek Collector's Set 2, great for army building for custom makers like me. We also got the Bomber Dalek from Destiny of the Daleks in the 4th Doctor Adventure set, and the Machine Gunner Silver Dalek Leader from Death to the Daleks in the 3rd Doctor Forbidden Planet exclusive pack. 2010 was another big year for Dalek toys. We got the 7th Doctor and Imperial Dalek 2-pack in March, as well as the notorious mass release of various Ironside and Paradigm action figures to correspond with the broadcast of Series 5. Both the Ironside and Paradigm figures got separate remote control releases, as well as standard figure packs featuring the Ironside Dalek using an altered version of the updated bronze sculpt, and all 5 Paradigm Daleks. Initially, the Strategist was by far the easiest to come by, and the Scientist could only be acquired in a 2-pack with the 11th Doctor. However, by the end of the year, each Paradigm Dalek had received at least one individual figure release. In the meantime, Character Options also re-released the chunky bronze Dalek in its bargain exclusives range, essentially designed to clear excess stock, but also gave us the legendary Remembrance of the Daleks 4-pack, featuring an Imperial Dalek, the Special Weapons Dalek, the Renegade Supreme Dalek, and a Renegade Dalek drone. 2011 started off strong with the individual release of the Stone Dalek figure, as well as the Resurrection of the Daleks 4-pack, featuring Davros, a Grey Dalek drone, and the Supreme Dalek. Later in the year, we also got the Genesis of the Daleks 4-pack, with Davros and 2 Grey Daleks, the Destiny of the Daleks 4-pack, with Davros and 2 much lighter Grey Daleks, and the Revelation of the Daleks 4-pack, with Davros, a Necros Dalek, and a more accurate Grey Dalek. At the end of the year, we also got the Chase set with 2 Daleks and a Mechanoid, and the Enemies of the First Doctor set, which included a Pyro Flame Dalek. In 2012, we got the Emperor Davros and Destroyed Imperial Dalek 2-pack, as well as the Tea-serving Ironside and Churchill 2-pack. However, the best of 2012 was yet to come, as in August we got the Sound FX Dalek sets. These were individually released Dalek figures that had specific sound effects, and the first wave featured an Invasion Earth Dalek, a late 60s Dalek, a Planet of the Daleks Dalek, a Death to the Daleks Dalek, a Necros Dalek, and a Bronze Dalek. There was also a re-release of the Dalek Collector's set number 2, again great for army building. 2013 saw a huge range of Dr. Dalek 2-packs released in the lead up to the 50th anniversary. These lacked sound effects but featured certain tweaks from previous designs to make them more accurate. These were a First Doctor and Supreme Dalek 2-pack from the Daleks' Master Plan, a Second Doctor and Emperor's Guard 2-pack from the Evil of the Daleks, a Third Doctor and Partially Invisible Lightwave Dalek 2-pack from Planet of the Daleks, a Fourth Doctor and Dalek Drone 2-pack from Genesis of the Daleks, a Fifth Doctor and Dalek 2-pack from Resurrection of the Daleks, a Sixth Doctor and Necros Dalek 2-pack from Revelation of the Daleks, a 7th Doctor and Renegade Dalek 2-pack from Remembrance of the Daleks, an 8th Doctor and Dalek Alpha 2-pack from Children of the Revolution, a 9th Doctor and Emperor's Guard 2-pack from The Parting of the Ways, a 10th Doctor and Crucible Dalek 2-pack from The Stolen Earth, and an 11th Doctor and Crone Strategist Dalek 2-pack from Asylum of the Daleks. We also saw a smaller second wave of sound effects Daleks released, which included the Dead Planet Dalek, a Guard Dalek from The Chase, a Drone Dalek from Genesis of the Daleks, and of course the Special Weapons Dalek. 2014 was light on Dalek releases after the huge wave of Dalek sets from the 50th anniversary year. In fact, the only standard figure set released in this year that included Daleks was the Asylum of the Daleks triple pack, featuring dirtied versions of the Paradigm Supreme and Chrome Paradigm Drone, as well as an SFX Bronze Dalek with Asylum stamp. 2015 saw a few re-releases of older sets for the international market, including a re-release of the Doomsday set featuring the first instance of Dalek Sec rendered in the new sculpt, which was exclusive to the US. UK buyers wouldn't be able to get this version of Dalek Sec until the B&M sets nearly a decade later. During this era, Character Options were trialling their smaller 3.75-inch figures, which had a few decent Dalek releases including some classic Daleks and the Dalek Fighter Pod set. But in terms of 5-inch figures, there were only a few B&M collector sets released in 2016, with no new Dalek releases at all. In fact, it wouldn't be until 2019 that we would see new 5-inch Dalek figures released. The Big Finish B&M exclusive sets featuring 3 2-packs, the 7th Doctor and Axis Strike Squad Dalek, the 8th Doctor and Interrogator Prime Dalek, and the War Doctor and Scientist Dalek. These would also feature variants available exclusively on the Character Options website, containing minor differences, such as the Scientist Dalek shoulder section and Interrogator's eye stalk lens being painted silver. 2020 saw the release of the Recon Scout Dalek figure, featuring a brand new sculpt with a removable mutant and rotatable midsection, as well as another release of the Big Finish 3-packs, again featuring minor adjustments to the paintwork. The Strike Squad Dalek now had a silver midsection instead of a gold one, the Interrogator Prime was made from a brighter shade of blue plastic, and the Scientist Dalek had a slight metallic blue tinge added to the dome and hemispheres. 2020 also saw the beginning of the History of the Daleks 2-pack sets, which began with the Daleks and the Dalek Invasion of Earth sets, as well as the first Character Online exclusive set related to this range, the Jungles of Mechanus set, with 2 Daleks made in the style of the Peter Cushing movies, complete with brand new dome-like sculpts. Near the end of 2020, we also saw the second wave of History of the Dalek sets, the Chase and the Daleks Master Plan, as well as an Ace and Imperial Dalek 2-pack and a 12th Doctor and Davros 2-pack. In 2021, we got a few more History of the Daleks sets, except this time the releases were staggered to add more variety on shelves. The Power of the Daleks and Day of the Daleks sets released first, and were followed by the Evil of the Daleks and Planet of the Daleks sets at the end of the year. Both of these waves featured new elements to the Dalek sculpts. The Power of the Daleks set had a mutant scoop attachment, and the Planet of the Daleks set had a great feature where the Daleks' domes could rotate but also flip upwards like in the episode. 2022 gave us a second Planet of the Daleks set, featuring an invisible Dalek and an updated, shinier version of the Planet of the Daleks Supreme, as well as the Death to the Daleks set, infamous for the fact that the black paint job on the midsection didn't go all the way round, much to the annoyance of fans with an eye for detail. At the end of 2022, we also got the Davros and Dalek Genesis 2-pack, the History of the Daleks Genesis 2-pack, and the Destiny of the Daleks set. 2023 saw an odd deviation from the release order of the History of the Dalek sets, with Character Options choosing to release a Doctor and Dalek 2-pack as part of the History range, featuring Richard Herndl's First Doctor and a Dalek from the 5 Doctors, before skipping Resurrection of the Daleks completely and releasing a pack of 2 Necros Daleks from Revelation of the Daleks. The next wave at the end of the year had a Remembrance 2-pack with the Supreme Dalek and Renegade Dalek, and the first New Who 2-pack of the History of the Daleks range, featuring a specially painted Metaltron figure and Dalek Sec in the new sculpt. At the time of writing, this is the complete range of character options Dalek figure releases that we have had so far. However, there are many rumours going around about what future releases could be. We're still due a Defense Drone figure, and the fact that History of the Daleks skipped over Resurrection of the Daleks entirely is odd to say the least. Though it is currently unconfirmed, future releases of character options Dalek sets are rumoured to consist of a Resurrection of the Daleks 4-pack, as well as a potential re-release of the Emperor Davros figure, but only time will tell if these will actually appear on shelves in the future. In the meantime, what's your favourite character options Dalek figure release? Do you prefer the earlier, chunkier Dalek figure design or the new one? What Dalek sets would you like to see character options release in the future? Let me know in the comments below.
Don't forget to click below to subscribe to
Dalek Bumps.